but he wants us to come to him and ask him, because in the end, with the things that are going on right now, with my little prophetic voice that I have this morning, if that's what it is, this world about to teach us that everything we've been talking about is true, and we know that. So you guys involve God in your job search. Okay. Now, I get the chance to introduce you guys to some people that are part of this network that are absolutely wonderful people, but they're very powerful members of the network in the way that we serve all across the United States. Last weekend, hope you guys had a good 4th of July. I heard all sorts of explosions outside my house last night. I'm sure you guys did too, didn't you? Okay. And we saw stuff on TV. It was real pretty and cool. So, happy. How old now are we? What's the number? Anybody remember the number? 200 and what? 54? 46. 246 years. Hey. So, we'll do it again next year at this time. Remember, don't forget. Okay. So much for comic relief this morning. But I'm gonna back up and introduce you guys to some people that make this network what it is, and people that you guys should know about. I shared this meeting today. I'm excited because my buddy of probably 20 years, M.L. Washington, is here, and he represents a different sector of jobs and a whole world of jobs and operations that we don't hear a lot about every day. We hear about the secular stuff all the time, but there's a whole different section. Sometimes I like to say a whole different planet of jobs out there that everybody didn't talk about all the time, so we didn't hear about it. My job is to, as a net weaver, is to introduce you guys as many people as we can to help you know what you need to know, where you can go plug in. You guys will be surprised what you're going to hear today from ML. But once again, I'm going to introduce you guys to some people that make this network what it is. I'm going to start with Bob Ernst, because he is at work right now, and he's got to get back to work. And here comes Bob. Good-looking guy. He has served his country in the U.S. Navy and helicopter pilot, all the kind of stuff that I like to talk about. I study about it at night. Well, Bob actually did it. So, Bob, tell us what you're going to tell us. This is your church, man. All right.
All right. Thank you, Foster.
Bob's right there.
Thanks. Hey, I'm Bob Ernst. As Foster mentioned, I'm a retired Navy pilot, and I made the career transition to become a financial advisor at Edward Jones. So it was one of the best career moves I've ever made. Financial industry is booming with all the baby boomers retiring, so it's going to be hiring for the next 20, 30 years. So if you're interested in career transitions, that's what I help people with. So if you need that help, I can help you at Edward Jones. I always tell people never apply online, talk to an advisor, have them submit your name, and then you will get a call for a phone screen. That's the way you want to do it. It's who you know, so no matter what industry you're in, that's how you get helped. If you're not interested in becoming a financial advisor, I know a lot of people in the defense industry, and a lot of people think I'm a recruiter around here too. I'm not, but I just know a lot of people that I can introduce you to. So if you're having trouble getting into a particular company or something like that, ask around. One of us may know somebody there that can make an introduction for you. So we've helped people down at Southwest Airlines and Raytheon and Lockheed Martin. So let us know how we can help you out. And for the folks online, if you need help, connect with me on LinkedIn. Last name is Ernst, E-R-N-S-T. Just say that you met me here at Frisco Connect or saw me online. I'd be glad to connect with you and help you out in any way possible. Bob Ernst with Edward Jones. Thank you very much.
Thanks, bud. Go to work, man. Bob's already at work. He's laughing at me. Okay, guys. Let's see who else I can pick on. I see my buddy Pete Hernandez is with us. And Pete is going to tell us a little bit about a couple of things and a couple of meetings that we need to be apprised of, that we can be a part of. And hello, all of you guys. I share this meeting all over the United States, so I know you contingent from New York is with us. So, hey, Leroy, guys. And here's Pete. He's going to tell us some stuff.
Good morning, everybody. Again, my name is Pete Hernandez. I'm a retired dude. I used to be in commercial insurance, personal lines insurance for almost 40 years, doing IT and operations, senior management stuff. And now this is what I do for the last 4.5 years or so. I've been retired, so I bounce around these different networking meetings, trying to help anybody I can. So by all means, connect with me on LinkedIn if you can. Always personalize your message so I know where I met you and some kind of context and anything I can do to help you. Just reach out to me. You'll find me, I think it's Pete Hernandez 99 if you're looking on LinkedIn. So I encourage you to connect with me. This week, you see, tomorrow is also the first Wednesday of the month. So that means we have our HR group at 10 a.m. Central Time. And you can find that link, by the way, we're virtual. You can find that link on careerdfw.org. Just go to the calendar section under Wednesday, and you'll see the link to our group. And we encourage you to join our HR group. Primarily, first of all, it's not for HR people only. If you're connected to HR in any way, including being a hiring manager in your past career, or you want to be a hiring manager, then please join us. It's HR, talent acquisition / recruiting. We have people from learning and development. If you've been in office management, legal field, administration, anything like that, come join us. But we have people there from all walks of life, IT, finance, whatever. Because guess what? They want to meet HR people and recruiters, because when those people land, now you have a great connection within those companies. So we encourage you to join us. Again, first and third Wednesdays at 10 a.m. virtually, and you can find our contact information at careerdfw.org in the calendar section. I also want to tell you about two other groups that are near and dear to me. First of all, on Tuesday mornings, actually meeting at 9 o'clock every Tuesday morning, when we're here as well, is our IT group, IT/engineering. Again, they meet virtually. You can find the same information on the same calendar section of Career DFW. And on Wednesday mornings at 9 a.m., if you're in project management, business administration, or business analysis, I should say, supply chain management, anything like that, we have a project management group at 9 o'clock on Wednesdays, again, virtually. Please join us for that. Again, the link is on careerdfw.org. So, to reiterate, if I can help you in any way, please reach out to me, whether it be online, YouTube, via LinkedIn, or here in person during our breaks. I'd be more than happy to help you. I'm not an expert in anything, but I can point you in the right direction. So, thank you, Fossil. It's all yours.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Okay, I want to tell you guys about a couple more things that are going on. We're missing some folks this morning, so I'm going to try to do my best and remember to tell you guys about what they do. I don't do it as well as they do, but hang in there with me. And you guys that are on YouTube, get your pens and pencils ready to jot this down. So, every Wednesday, guys, you will see myself. You'll see Trevor Houston. You will see Mark Elder on the Who You Know Networking show. Every Wednesday at 3 o'clock, we are on. We are a podcast that is designed, we're LinkedIn Live, and we're designed to help job seekers keep encouraged, meet people from all over walks of life that can give you some encouragement in your job search. So, on July 13th, one day before my birthday, another one. Oh my goodness, I'm making another one. So, July 13th, we will have a live in-studio audience. So some of you guys may want to attend. If you want to fly in from New York or North Carolina or Atlanta, it's okay. We got a spot for you. We have a big audience. And we just have fun that entire day. We have a party. It's all about job search and learning. But we tape a show, 2 to 3 shows, that one day. And so guys, go to Trevor Houston's profile on LinkedIn. See more information about this. You can also go to our LinkedIn page, whoyouknow.show. Whoyouknow.show. And you can find information on what we're talking about. You guys want to register. Make sure to register so that we'll know how much food to bring. It might be barbecue, I don't know, we're checking on that. And it's a fun time, and you meet a lot of really, really wonderful people from all over walks of life. And everybody's there to try to help them get a job, some of their companies. We bring out some folks from big organizations that you guys only see them on the news on TV, but sometimes we bring them out to hang out with us regular folks, okay? So check that out. Go to whoyouknow.show and check us out. Okay, let's see. Bob Ernst is not with us today, is he? Yeah.
No.
So it's,
Bob already shared with us.
I said Bob Ernst.
Yes.
I messed up. That's not the first time, and it won't be the last, y'all.
Mark McDonald.
So Mark McDonald is not with us today. Guys, you're familiar with that name, Mark McDonald, because Mark is the facilitator, creator, whatever you want to call him, of the pit crew. And John might be, there it is. The pit crew, the information is on because I know there's people all over the nation that are checking us out on YouTube right now. So, Judge is going to tell us about that. Judge is the creator, founder, head cook and bottle washer of all of that stuff. So here's Judge. It spelled his last name Bugby with a B, a bug and a B. Okay? Y'all got to get that right.
All right, good morning, everybody. I want to tell you about the job report. The job report is our digital interactive newsletter that goes out the Monday prior to the Frisco Connect meetings. So it went out yesterday, but if you've never received the job report or if you would like to get on the distribution list, just send an email to the job report FC for Frisco Connect @gmail.com. And once I receive that, I will add you to the distribution list and I will send you yesterday's report that went out. Now the beauty of this report is it gives you everything that we're talking about in the meeting today as far as times, links, Zoom information, whatever you could possibly need. So it really saves a lot of writing things down and missing details. So that comes out the Monday prior to every Frisco Connect. Now what's on that report is all of the area networking meetings that are like Frisco Connect, but they might be industry specific. So there might be a healthcare, there might be an IT. So they're all listed on there and they're all listed under by their various times and Zoom links. And HR as well. You will also have a list of all of the learning activities, educational resources. So if there's a resume class or training or LinkedIn, that's listed on there and the details will be on that each individual link. You also have a link for all of the open and active jobs that are available from some of our corporate supporters like Babbage and Associates. And we normally have the one from New York Life, but we didn't get it yesterday, so that'll probably go out separately. And then the last one that's on there for this week is from Camden Kelly. So if you're in IT and you don't connect with this girl from Camden Kelly, you're missing the boat because she's got some rock star jobs. You will also find on this report any of the local job fairs that are going on in the area. And I think this 2 weeks period, that's when we send out the job report, it covers the next 2 weeks, because on that third Tuesday, you're back in here. And so we send out a fresh email. So we don't try to overburden you with a lot of information, but we want to keep you current and active for the next 2 weeks. So I believe there's only one job fair this week. It's a Richardson job fair. And it's all the details and the location are listed there on the job report. So please take advantage of this report. It's very, very informative, and it's there to help you find your next job. So good luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Judge. I just thought of something while the judge was talking. That's kind of dangerous sounding, John. Guys, I want you, especially because I know there's people that are part of this network that are in many, many other states. We're in about 25 states now. We have discovered that there are groups that help job seekers in all these areas, and I like to let everybody know what's going on. I want you guys to go to LinkedIn and connect with a guy named Christopher Grasso, Grasso. He's got a national job listing site. Ask Chris if he will share that with you. Give him your email address. There are jobs all over the United States that are shared on there, and people connect with, and things that are going on. It's kind of like a job report, Judge, but it's on a national footprint. It's really pretty cool. So I want to tell you guys about Search for You as well. There is a website called SEARCH, the number 4 and the letter U, INC.com, searchforyouinc.com. Search for You. I don't want a job no more. I'm done, so I'm searching for y'all. So Search for You is what we like to call a networked job posting site. So a number of you guys, when you get a job, you need to hire somebody, and you find out that, hey, my company pays me $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 if I refer someone that gets hired at my company. You know, it's a pretty good little incentive there. And you know, the people that are responsible for each of those jobs that are posted on Search for You, it's right there, the recruiters. We have, as Judge told us earlier, we have a big HR national network. So there are people in HR, there are recruiters like me, yay, recruiters. And we post jobs on Search for You. And whoever's responsible for that job, whether it be a recruiter, whether it be the direct hiring manager, hey, Scott Pendleton, that information is there. You guys send your resumes directly. Now, of course, you want to apply online because the systems, if they have an applicant tracking system, you want to be in that system because that's where those people will go, those people that are responsible for these resumes that you guys share. They will move people through the system to the hiring managers. That's the operational system that most companies have nowadays. Now, I do mean most, even some of the smaller ones have spent money on these ATS systems. We can keep track by the government and everything. So check that out, guys. Christopher Grasso is the national guy, right? Tell Chris Foster running his big mouth at Frisco Connect. And we want to connect with you, Christopher, because we want to get your send out of the national job postings and things that are going on. So I know what's going on in Arizona. If you live in Arizona, if you live in North Carolina, if you live in Chicago, all over the place, you guys. Chris, this is wonderful. This networking is wonderful. I'm glad that God got me involved in it because I am gregarious, I guess is the word, Gary, that we can say about me. I like y'all people. I'm a people person. I like peoples. So, hey, we're going to do that. Now, here's what we're going to do right now. We're about to take a coffee break. We're about to take 5 or 6 minutes to go to the restroom. You people that are at home on YouTube, you don't have as far to walk. I don't think some of you guys might have some gigantic mansions out there. I don't know. But we're going to take a little break. We're going to hear from Meg Rose Caterio, who is our Maz, and she is going to let us know some wonderful things for you folks that are on YouTube. And the rest of us are going to get us a coffee. We're going to take a bio break. We're just going to take a break. So, I think John is connected, Maz, to a lavalier. Is that what you call those things?
Yes.
Lavalier, whatever it is. So guys, hang with us. We're going to hear from Maz, and we're going to hear from Pete's going to help her. And it's going to be a neat little thing that we're here to learn while we got you guys' attention right now. And we learn more about the network and who we should connect with and what companies are hiring, all kind of stuff. How do we find out what's happening? Guys, we have been through COVID. We are, what would you guys say, 90% post-COVID now? Okay, a little bit still around. You know, John told us a while ago that we got monkeypox and spider pox and all these other kind of poxes out there, I guess. So, we always have had something to be concerned about. But guys, you're in the kingdom of God, you ain't worried about that stuff. You can go get a job. So we're here to help you guys get a job. And I see Maz, and she is heading this way. Oh my goodness, I think I hear her connected. John's our technical expert, so are you connected, Maz?
I'm connected.
Oh, I hear her.
We're trying to get our presentation. How are you?
Hey there, how are you? Oh, good to see you. This is my Maz.
Hello, YouTube world.
My prayer partner right here, y'all. We cover this stuff, okay? I'm gonna let y'all have Maz.
Fancy over here. John, let me know.
Yeah, it's just gonna take a minute here.
Yeah. Having some technical difficulties, but I am your entertainment. Welcome everybody to Frisco Connect. I'm glad to be here. As Foster mentioned, my name is Meg Rose Caterio, or Mez. I do have a presentation, but not sure when it's going to pop up. Hope everybody's having a lovely day. Pete, do you have your microphone for questions?
I don't, yeah.
Okay. This is very informal, everybody on YouTube world. If you have questions, concerns, comments, just want to say hi, please drop a comment. Hit that like button. It's very important for the support of the network as well. Anybody in the audience, nice to see some faces. Hello. It's kind of weird because we're offside. If you keep seeing us stare over here, there's a bunch of people over there versus over there. So.
Tell us a little bit about your background. That's a good story.
What was that?
Tell us a little bit about your background. That's a great story.
Yeah, my background, I am a biochemical engineer. It's on the slides you're about to see here in a few minutes, but biochemical engineering is my education. And I've been doing that for over 15 years total, but I ended up in the oil and gas industry. My favorite thing when I tell people I'm a biochemical engineer is, what is a biochemical engineer? What do they do? So the way I like to explain it to people is I'm either the person or character in the comic book that's the mad scientist, or I'm the one in the comic book series that gets kidnapped to do whatever crazy bio stuff that there is. In real life, we do everything from design aquariums to, what else do we do? Oil and gas, where I ended up for 10 years. We also do food manufacturing, we do just about everything, every type of engineering, obviously pharmaceuticals and things like that. But I did a career transition. I got laid off in year 2019, end of Q1, and I ended up at this lovely network. Met Pete Hernandez. You guys already met Pete, I'm sure. First person I met. So great connection first thing there, and then moved on through the network to do a career change. So I did my career change from engineering to IT project management, thanks to the network. Talked a little bit about that a couple weeks ago here. Let's see, what else about me? I have this all in slides, people, I swear, but it's okay. Today's Meds moment, once we do get running here, is about resumes, not how to construct it, but just the practicality of it all, and what it really looks like, the time it takes to apply online, to get your stuff organized, how to organize your applications. Not, like I said, not necessarily the content. Woohoo! Yes, we are rocking and rolling. Like I said, this is my background. This is my LinkedIn information at the bottom. If you guys want to connect with me, my name is Mez on LinkedIn as well. But went through all this stuff, so we're going to keep moving forward. Mez moment of the day, like I mentioned, is resume maintenance. So what I'm going to talk about is the pipe dream of applying for a job, which Pete talked about last time. And then going into your master copy of your resume, organization of applications, and some tailoring tips as well. So, let's see, yes, this is the pipe dream. So this is if everything goes well, right, Pete? Everything always goes well in job search world, right? Everything. Yeah, exactly. So this is our pipe dream, if you will. First, you select the companies that you want to target. Then you select from their wonderful plethora of job openings and find your perfect match. It's kind of like Match.com via job search. It's kind of fun. You then network with key hiring people and submit your resume. You get instantly picked out of the black hole by HR, have one interview, and you're magically hired and live happily ever after. That's the pipe dream of applying for a job. In reality, you select your companies, same thing. You monitor the companies for job postings, either LinkedIn or the actual website, depending on time and availability or alerts. Then you continue to network. Obviously, that's why you guys are all here. That's why you guys are online. Let's see. You tailor your resume. Everybody always thinks about resumes as one piece of paper or two pieces of paper that says your entire life's history. You need to be comfortable with the idea of every single job you apply for, you're going to have to edit and break it down to fit that job description, that company's needs, the whole nine. I cross this out because sometimes you're not going to get fished out of the black hole. Sometimes, this situation I'm talking mostly about applying online and just getting, just seeing that job posting online and applying for it. Not anything else, this is just that situation. Sometimes you don't know the key hiring people. Sometimes you don't even know who to reach out to. That's why we network. That's why you have people like Pete and Foster, myself. It's like, who do you guys know in XYZ company? Let's see, am I missing anything, Pete? I don't think so.
Oh, you're good so far.
Okay. Pete will definitely keep me in check, so accountability. What else? Let's see. Okay, multiple interviews. Oh, yeah. So, one interview is in the past. Now we have all these terrible techniques. We call them torture devices. Shout out to the pit crew and the technology that they give us. But the one-way interviews, anybody else experience that? That was mortifying to me. I hated that. But we have tools available for free to this network to practice, to get all the weird technologies they throw at you. And please take full advantage of that. I'm laughing because I had at least 6-7 interviews per company. I think the record, or what I hear in this network, is the record of interviews is 9 in-person interviews. And he still didn't get the job. So be prepared for multiple interviews, keep networking, keep moving forward. We're a little bit out of time, but this master resume that I'm talking about needs to be consistent across all of your platforms, and LinkedIn's a little bit different of an animal. I have my resume or my LinkedIn kind of profile. My title was Senior Manufacturing Engineer. But different companies have different titles that mean the exact same thing. So, for example, up here I have Senior Manufacturing Engineer, but that also equals in a different company, Project Manager. That also equals the same thing as a sustaining engineer or a maintenance engineer. So that's why use the header space as much as you can in your resume or in your LinkedIn experience. Make sure everything matches, but make sure that you use that text to give the system, the algorithm, right?
Yeah, what you want to do is put in all the different job titles that equate to what your experience is.
Right.
So like you were saying, project managers, engineer, management, whatever it is, put them all in there so when recruiters do the search engine thing, they'll be able to find her no matter what title they use, because she's got it, it's exactly the same job, it's just different companies call it different things. I mean, we've all heard that, I think it's Southwest Airlines called their chief human resource officer, their chief fund officer. Well, that's great, but not many companies do that. So you have to have all the titles there that you think they might be able to search for.
Exactly, exactly. So that's my example up there. Wanted to just highlight that. Last thing about master resumes. Yep, like I mentioned, just make sure you have the same version on all of your platforms, your Indeeds, your Monsters, all of that fun jazz. Just make sure it's the updated version. I personally have at least 1,000 versions of my resume, and it's not an exaggeration whatsoever. I always make sure when I do apply online for a job, I have a separate folder for it, either by company, by quality engineer, whatever the case may be, how you want to separate it, but make sure you have a hard copy. Make sure you take screenshots, not a link to the job description, but screenshots of the original job description, because they like to change it up on you. It's always a fun thing with HR and recruiting. Let's see, anything else I want to talk about? So be warned, only use words that are in the job description. I'm not a huge fan of scanning your resume and trying to fit as many buzzwords in to appease the ATS system. That's not my style. If you like it, if it works for you, great, but that's not my recommendation at all. The other part of that is never pay somebody to do your resume. If you get hired to go for an interview and don't talk or sound the same on paper as you do in person, that's a big red flag for a lot of companies. Last but not least, be prepared when you do a job application online, anywhere from 1 to 2+ hours. And I remember struggling with
the ATS system. The recruiter or the interviewing hiring manager hasn't looked at my resume. They've gone to my LinkedIn profile. So I'm curious as to how I get out of the ATS system if they're not looking at all those little blocks that I filled out. And that's happened multiple times. And the majority of my interviews have gone through applying online, not from networking.
that is a very fair point. I've come across the same thing when I was doing that. I'm sure Foster, ML.
Oh, yeah, you know, I got it.
Yeah, I know that, but my answer.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that go on, I'll let Foster address it, but.
We got Foster going. You tell him.
Thank you, very good question. Every question, I network a lot, I see Deborah, and she asks good questions every single time. So, in that applicant tracking system, we are going to submit our resume that we have built for that particular job. When we go to LinkedIn, we will see, oh, I'm just going to take for a hypothetical situation. We're looking for what Meg Rose is, a project manager. Well, if you see a job posting for a project manager, the company does a specific
But I don't think they're gonna get away from the software systems.
No, I think.
It's too big of a business, it's too big of a,
Right.
that's not going anywhere, but maybe they'll get a little bit wiser. To that point, real quick, before you guys kick me off stage, I don't know if I mentioned it, formats of your resume. Make sure you have a text or RTF version of your resume. And I have a PDF and a Word document as well. Just throwing that out there, because guess what? There you go. Like this. Questions going.
I'm hearing that RTFs don't get read by a lot of applicant tracking systems. Is that true?
RTF.
RTF formats?
Yeah, they don't
Text
get read by
formats.
applicant tracking.
Rich text format. They do.
What do you think? How many hundreds of different versions of
Oh my goodness. Oh.
So yes, it may be true in some cases that some systems don't read RTFs, but I don't think you can answer that question absolutely.
Now, I don't think I can answer any question absolutely. But you know what, guys? I'll explain to you. Thank you, Monroe. I would try to explain why it's important. Beyond the fact that companies spend so much money for applicant tracking systems. So guys, we have a lot of pressure put on us, especially at the big companies. We have a lot of pressure put on us by the government. They are monitoring us and making sure that we are who we say we are, and we have done a lot of the things that we say we have done. We have looked at Pete's resume, I've got it in my system kind of thing. I have to keep it in my system at least, it used to be 7 years, it might just be 3 now, I don't know. But because of the monitoring that we have, the applicant tracking systems make it very easy for us to be able to prove stuff and not get in trouble. And so that's another reason why applicant tracking systems have become so prevalent. And they're not cheap, but that's something else the government has put on us. So, and I do not disagree with that. I think we ought to be able to keep up with what we're doing and who we're seeing at companies, because we don't want to miss a qualified applicant if it's possible that we don't. We ended up doing that anyway. But if we keep up with what we're doing a lot better, getting who we need to get. Okay. Welcome back from break, guys. You got Foster again, and break's over. Pause for effect. Okay, so that is one reason that we have these applicant tracking systems. The rich text format, yes, probably is the best because it was built originally around the use of that. Guys, when we try to put underlines and boxes and making things real pretty, applicant tracking systems, they don't like that. And it's a technical thing. I'm kind of nerdy. I won't get into it. But they are not read because it wasn't based, it wasn't built that way. And so it kind of throws the system off when you underline stuff, make stuff pretty, and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, contact me, Foster Williams. You guys make sure and link in with me. I am the job father, and I got a lot of answers to things because I've been in recruiting for a long time. And I can answer probably most questions, not definitively in all cases, but pretty close. So please link in with me. I want to introduce now, guys, that break is over. Hint, hint, hint. And moving forward, because my buddy ML is limited on time, and I am too today. So we're going to meet ML Washington. I'm not going to tell you what the ML stands for because he might get me, but it's manual. I'm kidding. I'm not going to tell you what the L is, but I'll let him tell you. But you know, yes, keep clapping. There's a whole sector of employment out there, y'all. Thank you. That wasn't for me, that's from ML. There's a whole sector of employment out there we don't hear a lot about. And ML is there used to, 4 years ago, you and one other person were certified trainers. It's not easy to be a certified trainer and what this guy's going to talk to us about.
Tested?
Yeah, good. Yeah. So this is M.L. Washington. He is the founder and chief cook and bottle washer and a whole bunch of other names that I probably shouldn't tell you that I call him because we're friends for a long time. And he is the creator of the FETC, Federal Employment Training Center. Now you guys listen to that. He's going to tell you components and things that have changed post, 90% post-COVID, maybe wherever we are. And he's going to share that with you. He's going to tell us all about what it's like. You know what? It's pretty cool working for the government. You'd be surprised what's out there, how it works, and the advantages that it'll have for job seekers. So take it away, ML. I'm going to shut up.
Well, thank you, Father. I appreciate it. I thank you so much. First of all, I want to thank Father William and his group, all the persons that are involved with the group for inviting me over here. And I want to thank all of you two for giving me the opportunity to present this little short presentation to you. We have, like everybody else, we've been shut down. First of all, I've been in this business for 25 years. Been doing this for 25 years. And we shut down with the pandemic just like everybody else. And I'm just grateful to be here. I'm a COVID survivor, so I'm just grateful to be here and to get this opportunity to speak with you today. And I said I'm retired, I'm done, I'm not going to do anything. But you know, God has a way of putting you in places you don't know where you're going to go. But He already knows, okay? He already knows that He had a purpose for me. So here I am. I'm back out here again. And I got called out here mainly to help my veterans. I'm a retired U.S. Air Force. And I got called out to help my veterans. But we do three things at the Federal Employment Training Center. Federal Employment Training Center is located in Fort Worth. And we've been in business for about 25 years. We do most of the training right now on Zoom. But this is my second actually presentation this year that I've actually been out in person. And I'm going to do two today, so ain't that great? We concentrate on veterans, persons with disability, and civilian. So we work with all three categories to help you get in the federal government job, okay? So what I want you to do for a minute, I want you to take off your civilian hat, and I want you to put on your federal government hat. Because it's a little bit different when you're applying for the federal government. What do you mean by that? Well, everything is different. Your interview is different, your resume is different, your contacts is different, and how you apply for a federal government job is different. So I'm just going to touch on it just a little bit here to kind of get you, so your appetite flowing a little bit here. First of all, most of the jobs in the federal government are posted on usajobs.gov. usajobs.gov. That's the official website of the federal government, and that's where most of the jobs are posted at. We have from GS1 all the way up to GS15. Okay? So you know GS1 probably, but you know GS15 is a big six-figure way up there. And normally those people are 13, 14s, and 15s. They're supervisors, directors, people like that. But we can get you in at decent money in the federal government. Most of the people that I put in the federal government start out somewhere around about a GS7. GS7 probably somewhere around about 57,000 now. Our professional level start at GS9. And GS9, which stands for General Scheduling. GS9 starts around about 69,000. Now, they frustrate a little bit because it depends on where you get hired at. Because we have what we call locale pay. So I'll give you a quick example. If you got hired in Dallas as a GS9, you may start out at 69,000 a year. If you got hired in Houston, you may start out at 72. And if you got hired in California, you may start out at 78 to 79. But if you was in California, you probably need all that 78 to 79. It's pretty expensive in California, right? Okay? But that's not the grade. We also have what we call WG, which is wage grade. Okay? What's the difference between the WG and the GS? Well, your WG is what we call your blue-collar workers. That's your construction workers, air conditioning repair people, people like that. And your GS, we call them the back office workers. You know, your supervisors, your managers, wear the white shirt and tie, or your professionals, RNs, doctors, vocational rehabilitation counsel, which is what I am, people like that, okay? But I want to just go through just a minute. This time we're going to concentrate on the veterans. We're going to talk about veterans. I don't know how many veterans we have in here, but I know you know at least one or two veterans that live close to you or in your same community. And if you go to church here, you probably know a lot of veterans here, okay? There are a lot of veterans that are out of employment, that's out of jobs right now. And a lot of them are out of jobs because a lot of them caught COVID. And COVID takes a lot out of it. I tell you guys, by the grace of God, you never believe that I was in the hospital for 20 days and almost died with COVID. But we have some people that get out of the hospital and they're not able to walk, they're not able to function like they used to, and they're looking for a good job because they got to take care of their family. So they're probably looking for a desk job, administration type job, or something like that. So we are out here trying to help the veterans get back in, and some of the veterans' spouse too, because it's the same situation. So I want to talk a little bit today about veterans, and then you guys don't let me forget, because I did get a question earlier about part-time. The federal government really don't have part-time, but we kind of have part-time. You know, full-time is like 40 hours, but with the federal government, they do have some jobs where you work 25 to 30 hours, not a full-time job. And then we have some jobs with the federal government where you're on call, okay? If they call it, and that would be probably considered for part-time. For example, FEMA, disaster reserves. They call their people in when they have what? A disaster, right? So that's part-time, but you might go in part-time and work 6 months in a row. And so you, in 6 months, you probably make more pay than the average person makes on a regular job, okay? So we're going to take a little bit, if I can get this working right, let's see, look at this good. If you're a veteran, we give you preference when you apply for the federal government job. But the number one thing you must remember, you still must be qualified, okay? It's great that we're veterans, it's great that we serve our country, but we don't give you a job just because you serve your country. You still must be qualified for the job. You must have at least 52 weeks or 1 year experience to qualify you for the position that you're applying for, okay? Same with the civilian, same thing. You must have 52 weeks or you must have 1 year that you qualify for the federal government job, okay? When we look at veteran preference, we look at, because it was in the military, USA job. You go to USA jobs, you put in Dallas, Texas, you put in maybe 50 miles, Dallas, Texas. When in 50 miles, so I had to cover what? McKinney, Gainesville, Dallas. So if you want to work any of those areas, you put it in. I recommend that you put it in Dallas, Texas. Some people like to put in, okay, I want to be an RN nurse, or I want to be an administrator, or I want to be a customer service. A lot of times the federal government, they use different names than civilian names when you're looking for a federal job. So if you put in a particular name for a job, you might miss that job altogether. Just right down the street in McKinney or in Denton, okay? So the best thing to do is just put in the area, Denton, Texas, Dallas, Texas, McKinney, Texas, whatever you want to do, and then go out 50 miles. And then the number one thing that you want to do to make sure you qualify for a job is to look at the duty description. The duty description is normally wrote by the supervisor. The supervisor will tell you in the duty description exactly what they're looking for. That's what they're looking for. And so once you read through the duty description, you don't want to say, well, I think I can do that. I think I did that 4 or 5 years ago. Because what you got to realize is you compete against people that have 5 to 10 years experience. So if all of a sudden you go to college and you get a bachelor's degree in human resource, but you never worked human resource before. So you say, well, I think I go into the federal government, I work human resource. Not gonna happen. Because in the federal government, we have what we call best qualified. So if you just got out of college, even though you have a degree, but you're not best qualified, okay? So what you want to do is you want to apply for the jobs that you're mostly qualified in. That's going to get you a good salary, and plus it's going to get you in the job. Now, everybody is excited right now about the federal government because the federal government are doing a lot of remote jobs now. People are working from home. And I think with the civilian world, they kind of found out, hey, this working from home is not a bad deal. You know, we don't have to worry about sick leave, we don't, you know, so it's not bad. So a lot of the jobs right now that the federal government are putting out there, you're working from home, remote. Now, this is the catch-up. If you're going to work from home, you got to have at least 3 to 5 years experience. The federal government is going to train you when you go in how to apply for a job. But if you're going to be a medical coder, they can't train you in 3 weeks how to be a medical coder. You got to have that experience. So if you know the medical terminology, you know the psychological terminology, and you know all that terminology, you know how to put those codes in, that's a good job. When I came over here today, they was looking for a medical coder starting out at $60,000, and that's working at home. And you can work, you can be, I think the VA hospital was in Arizona, but you can be right here in Dallas, Texas, working in your living room for the VA in Arizona, doing medical coder. So that's not bad, huh? It's not bad at all. Yeah?
And as long as they're getting audio, I'm not going to leave it.
Veteran. If you're a veteran, you get special hiring authority. One of them is called Veteran Reappointment Act, VRA. This is a veteran that's 30% or more disabled, or a guy that serves 100% disabled. But we give you a preference with this job. Now we can bring you in as high as the GSE level, okay? If you have a degree, you're working that job for 2 years. At the end of 2 years, they can promote you to permanent. If you do not have a degree, then you must attend some mandatory training while you're in that job for the 2 years, and then they'll promote you. Then we have the other one, 30% or more, disabled veteran. When you get out, you get an examination. If you're 30% or more, then you have preference over everybody on the top of the list. And this is the catcher right here. You take this young lady right here, and she can have a master's degree. And she can work in this job for 3 years, but she has a master's degree. But you take this veteran over here, he don't have a master's degree, but he worked in this job for 10 years. She's a civilian, he's a veteran. I cannot hire a civilian over a veteran if the veteran is qualified for the position. And that's where a lot of civilians get frustrated. They say, I know I'm qualified for this position, but why I didn't get the position? Because you have a veteran that's qualified, and you can't hire a civilian over a veteran if they're equally qualified. The veteran gets preference, okay? And the same thing, have you guys, by show of hand, heard of Schedule A? Nobody here? Schedule A is a letter that you get from the Vocational Rehabilitation Service, Texas Workforce Solution, that says you have a disability. You have preference when applying for a job. So now, if you're a civilian and you're applying for a job, you got to follow with Schedule A, you got to follow with veterans, okay? But this is the key. This is why I don't want you to get frustrated. Not all veterans and not all people that have disability are qualified for the position. So apply for the position if you qualify. Because we don't just put them in because they're a veteran. We don't put them in because they have a disability. They still must be qualified for the position. Okay? So remember that. VOA, Veteran Equal Opportunity Act of 1998. What this says, if you're a veteran and you was in the military, active duty, the key is active duty for continuous of 3 years, then you're eligible for a VOA position. Okay? Well, a lot of veterans get confused. National Guard, Reserve. If you only been in 3 or 4 weeks or 6 months or whatever it is, doing active duty, you still must be in 180 days active duty. Training don't count. Must be active duty. Okay? So remember that. You can use up to 5 resumes when you're applying for a federal government job. Okay? 2 of them, which we like to use, is called upload resume, where you write your resume yourself and then you upload it to the USA job system. Then we have what we call a resume builder. A lot of y'all probably familiar with resume builder because it's similar to civilian side. They just give you a little block, you fill it in, you know, your last job, second job, third job, education. So it's just a format that you fill in. I like to upload resume. Why? Because now you can get personal. Now you can get on that resume and you can tell the supervisor was out for 6 months with a surgery and I took her position for 6 months. I'm a GS9, but I worked as a GS15 for 6 months. So now if you're applying for a GS11 or GS12, I'm looking at that resume and saying, wait a minute, she's got experience. Even though she's a 9, but she worked in the same position that Hernandez for 15, okay? So you can mess with your resume like that, but in the format, in the resume builder, they ask you like a yes and no question. Yes, no, yes, no. You just fill in the blank, okay? A lot of times you might run into jobs now. They won't let you do an upload resume because they want everybody to do a resume builder. When that happens, then you got to look at keywords. You got to look at accomplishments that stands out from the other people that you're applying with. And you want to put those accomplishments in there, okay? So you can have up to 5 resumes for the federal government, okay? The format for the resumes in the federal government is a little bit different, okay? In civilian, you average, what, 2 pages? In the federal government, 3 to 5 pages. You can go up to 5 pages, okay? Somebody said, well, why do you have 3 to 5 pages in the federal government versus 2 in the civilian? Well, the reason is the federal government want to get more detail. They want to know more detail. And I think a few years ago, civilian was trying to go to that, but I guess they backed off a little bit. So a lot of people get excited. Well, I saved the company 30% last year. Oh, we increased our productivity by 50% last year. To a civilian there, that's good. Oh, you saved the company 30%. You increased productivity by 50%. But come over on the federal government side, we want to know how you did that. How did you get to that 30%? How did you get to that 50%? You didn't do it by yourself. So how did you get there? So that's what we're looking for. Because I got to be honest with you guys. Some people are the greatest writers in the world. Now wait a minute. I didn't say they was liars. Sometimes they just don't tell the whole truth. So if you got some, so for example, if Foster is a writer, and I'm not a writer, but I've been working in this job for 10 years, and Foster knows I've been working in this job for 10 years, and he didn't see my resume. Boy, he write his resume up. Yeah. And the guy look at the resume, the HR person, look here. Man, this might not be God, but I think he's pretty close. He's pretty close, you know? And then you get in there. I know some of you guys that work with supervisors, you get in there, and you get to thinking after about 4 or 5 weeks, man, she don't know nothing. He don't know nothing. Because they always come to you and ask you, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do this? Well, guess how they got the job? They was a good writer. Or they know brother, cousin, uncle, nephew, they got the job. And you'll find out after you've been there for a while, this person don't know nothing about this job. How did they get the job? And that happens a lot, okay? So a lot of people get the job because they're good writers or they know people are good writers. But if you got a good supervisor and they asking the right question, it won't take them very long to figure out this person don't know this job. You know what I'm saying? So I always tell everybody to be careful when you put your resume together. Because resume look good, it gets in the system, it look good, it gets you the interview, but when you get to the interview, because the people that sit across the table that's interviewing you, guess what they are? Experts. So you can't snow them, you know? So if you're a welder and they ask you about MIG welding or something, and you don't know nothing about MIG welding, guess what? You're out of there. So you don't want to embarrass yourself. If you qualify for the job, put it on the resume. But if you're not qualified for the job, if you get to read and information in the federal government, it basically tells you, just to break it down to you, if we find out that you're lying on your resume, guess what? You'll be home for Christmas. You'll be home for Christmas. Yeah, we're going to send you home. Notification. Once you get your resume in, and this is a lot of times, if you're experimenting with a resume, you're not really sure, you want to go ahead and apply for the job. The most that the HR person can do is send you a letter back and say, no, right? Ain't like nobody going to take you outside and whoop you. So go ahead and put the resume in, right? And then if you find out that you get a notification and say, hey, we received your resume, then the next thing you're looking for is a referral letter. If you get a referral letter, you guys would be surprised that if 100% of people apply for a job, only 20% get through. They don't follow instructions. They add information that they didn't ask for. They color code their resumes. Y'all see it in the pink, green, red resume? I see resumes with kids, pictures on it, family pictures. In the federal government, remember one thing. Follow instructions. If they ask you to send them something, send it to them. If they don't ask you, don't send it. I remember a long time ago, we used to have KSAs. Anybody remember KSAs? They call them knowledge, skills, and ability. Knowledge for the job, skills for the job, and ability to do the job. And people would send, man, they send 18 pages. They send their transcript. They send their kids' pictures. They send everything. And what we found out is, if we got 75 people applying for this job, we're not hiring 75 people. So what we do is say, send your resume, send your KSAs, what we used to say back then, and then we go through and we narrow them down to about 10 people. Then we contact those 10 people and we say, now, okay, send us your transcript. Because we're not going to sit there and read 75 transcripts. But if we will read 10 if we're down to 10 people. So remember, the most important thing, as soon as you started looking at that application on USA Job, you'll get interviewed. What? You get interviewed. How well you follow instructions. If we actually send it to us, send it to us. If we, why? Should I send my transcript? You got to be careful with a transcript. If you're applying for a job that requires a degree, it'll tell you. Send a bachelor's degree, master's degree. If it doesn't say that, and you say, well, I can qualify for this job. I have 6 months experience, and I have a bachelor's degree. When they get to the HR person, they're going to say that you're applying for this job based on your experience and education. And what that means is, if one person is applying for a job that has 1 year experience, they go ahead of you. Because experience trumps education. It shouldn't, but it does. That's the way it is in the federal government. Okay? Once you do that, once you're notified that we received your application, once you get referred, then you get contacted by the HR. Want to set up an interview? They'll let you know. When can we set up the interview? When can you come in for the interview? Now, don't quit your day job because you get a tenant offer. Wait on that final offer. You don't want to go tell the boss you don't like him no more until you get that final offer. Because the final offer, once you sign in, that means you got the job. Because I say the first one because you like to go and fail the physical. Because in order to get the federal government job, you got to pass the physical. You might fail the background. Okay? So then if you go and talk not very nice to the boss, you might find out you don't have a job at all. So you don't want to do that. Make sure you get the final referral before you start putting in your notice that you're going to quit. Now this is what we used to do. Everybody that applied for a federal government job, we used to notify, hey, we appreciate you applying for the federal government job, but we chose somebody else. They don't do that anymore. You can't notify 7,500, 200 people, okay? So what they do is, the final 10 people, they'll notify them. You was referred to the hiring agency. If you get a letter that says you was referred to the hiring agency, and you don't get the job, then they'll notify you and say, we chose somebody else, okay? Now this is the key. Remember this. If you get notified on Friday that you referred to the hiring agency, let me back up. Say you had an interview, and your interview was on Thursday and Friday, If you don't get a call on Monday, you didn't get the job. Because if you don't get a call on Monday, guess what you get on Tuesday? You get an email that says, we chose somebody else. So remember that if you ever go to an interview on Friday, you should know something about Monday. Unless they tell you, you know, boss is on vacation or something, we got to wait till you get back. Because even though the supervisor can say, I'm going to select this person, whoever her boss is, will still have to approve on it, and it goes to HR. Now, I can tell you this right now. It takes a little longer to get in the federal government right now, because everybody's not in the office, everybody's working from home. So by the time you get Kelly and Jim and John and everybody to sign off on the paperwork, it may take 2 to 3 weeks or 4 weeks. I had a lady just got hired in Waco, and it took her almost 5 weeks to get in. But she's now hired in Waco. They sent her paperwork. They had to get a background check, they had to get everybody to sign the paperwork and sign off on it. Okay? Qualified, well qualified, best qualified. If you have a bachelor's degree, you qualify for any job in the federal government. But the federal government don't hire qualified. They hire best qualified. So we try to move you from qualified to best qualified. And that's going to come with what you put on your resume, your keywords that you put on your resume. It's going to make you qualified in your experience. Federal resume, that's your best tool to get into the federal government. You don't get a chance to talk to everybody. So to let everybody know what kind of experience you got and you qualify for the job, it's going to be your resume. Communication qualifications, okay? If you see something in the duty description, if you see a word in the duty description that's there about 3 times, you want to make sure it's on your resume, because they wouldn't put it in the duty description 3 times if it wasn't important. So you want to make sure, and you don't have to put it on every job. For example, if you apply for administrative assistant and you answer the phone, you take messages and you do fax, and okay, you don't have to put that down at one time. You don't have to put it down at every job, because even a director is a customer service person. I had a director tell me one time, he said, I'm not a customer service person, I'm a director. I said, when the administrative assistant transfer the phone to you because they got a problem, and you answer the phone to solve the problem, what are you providing? Customer service. So you're a customer service person. Oh, yeah. Well, I think about it like that. Well, you got to remember, everybody in operation is a customer service person, okay? Tell your resume. Tell your resume for the particular job that you apply for. Example, RN. You apply for RN. You apply for RN in the emergency room. You apply for RN in the surgery. You apply for RN in the dental. Okay? If they're looking for emergency RN in the emergency room, then that's what you need to tell in your resume to. I have, because nurses that work in the emergency room are different from nurses that work in the OR room. Okay? Tell your resume to the specific job that you apply for. You might wind up with 5 or 6 resumes if you got a lot of experience, but you want to make sure you tell your resume 3 to 5 pages. I like to go with 4 pages. By law, we can read all 5 pages, but I like to go with 4 pages. Because as an HR, if I'm responsible for this job, I'm looking at 80 applications. I don't want to read 5 pages on every 80 application. Now, some of you may have to, depends on what it is. If you've been a nurse for 15 years, yeah, we probably don't have about 4 or 5 pages. But if you've been a nurse for 2 years, we shouldn't have that many, okay? But they say, first impression, same thing, first impression, you know? And I tell people this way when you go to the interview, don't worry about if you're old, if you're young, if you're black, or if you're white. Because as soon as you walk in the door, they're going to already know that, okay? So that's not a problem, okay? But remember this, people get hired if I like you. If I don't like you, I don't hire you. And you may say, well, that's not true. Yeah. You ever seen people walk in the office, they stumble, they fall, they drop the coffee, they do it. Everybody's sitting back looking. Bad impression. I don't think she's going to make it, right? And then you see this person that come in the office, and everybody just, Oh man, everybody laughing. The guys just, oh, you gotta hire this guy. Because he got a good impression and people like him. But the bottom line is, if I like him, I hire him. If I don't like him, nice one, we'll see you next time. Go. Okay? All right. That's the short version of it. Once again, my name is M.L. Washington. My phone number is 682-560-9142. I work Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You can contact me anytime between 9 and 5. Or you can go to my website, fetc23.org. We talk about putting resumes together. The training that we provide online is a 3-hour training. We take you from putting your application in all the way to answering the questionnaire. And I remember I mentioned earlier about KSAs. We don't do KSAs anymore, we do by questionnaires. So if you're ever looking at a job in the federal government and you want to know if you qualify for the job, you just need to do 2 things. The first one, duty description. To make sure that you qualify for the job, the second one is go to the questionnaires. Because if you go to the questionnaires and they ask you what's a standard form 64, and you don't know what a standard form 64, then you probably not qualify for that position. Just that easy, okay? If it's general stuff, you can qualify. But if you apply for a job that is specific, then you might not be able to qualify. All right, I appreciate it. I thank you for the opportunity. I thank you for your time. If anyone has any questions that's here, I'm available right about now. Right. I don't see, unless I had any questions on the. Okay. Foster, thank you. You're on.
I really like what the federal government does. You guys know I've been a recruiter for a long time. So what he was talking about is common sense kind of stuff. If we adopt in the secular world some of the things that we do in the federal government, that basically what it's saying is if you are telling me that you're qualified for this job, prove it. Let me know that relevant experience. That's my other R word, is relevance. The first one is relationship. Because I have a relationship with M.L. Washington, we got a chance to hear about federal government. Hey, M.L., I got a question.
Go ahead.
What is that website in which we may be able to find jobs in the federal government, or if we know where we want to work in the federal government, do they have a website that is set for their opportunities?
Yeah, all the jobs are located on usajobs.gov. And then the thing is, if you got a question, you want to go to usajobs.opm. OPM stands for Office of Personnel Management. And the reason why we send you there is because most of the questions that you ask, they already got the answers right there on the page. You know, people ask about leave, what kind of pay I'm going to get, what if I'm sick, okay? Guys coming from the military, can I take my military time and convert it over to my civilian time? So most of the questions that are standard questions are normally located on usajobs.opm. Okay?
That's straight dope. Okay, don't get that. All right, now you have had an introduction to the federal government and opportunities that are there. I suggest, because I've had a relationship with him for a long time, he's a nice guy, really is. Sometimes I can push his button. But contact ML. Manuel Washington is what you will see on Facebook, not Facebook, yes, Facebook, but LinkedIn. Connect with ML. Y'all know it's Manuel. I didn't say the L, I didn't say what it was. And if you have any questions about his presentation, or maybe you have some questions that popped up outside after you have been able to watch this on YouTube a little bit later on, you're connected with ML, you can see his number, you can call him, you can send him an email. Simple as that. Y'all know we got this thing called technology now, guys that are being MLs. When we first started our careers, we would call people like this. Remember that? Okay. enough. I'm trying to be funny, it ain't working. So, guys, that is our meeting for this week. Remember that you can see this later. It will be on YouTube. You can put up Frisco Connect. You can see the date, and you can hear ML talk about the federal government, go through that again. I suggest to you guys, just a suggestion, that you check out federal government and what it's all about. There are some advantages working for the federal government that you will not see in the secular world. And so if you have any questions about any of that, call ML. That's my job. I'm a net weaver, right? I appoint you, call John. He's a technical expert. Call him. I'm just kidding, John's not a tech expert. Uh-oh, stand back here. Okay, this is my brother. That's what we look like. He's a little bit taller than me, a lot of bit smarter than I am. But that is John Lewis. Connect with him as well on LinkedIn, guys.
Okay, I just wanted to foster, no,
I'll stay up here.
yeah. I just want to make a comment. Our audio video producer is out of town, and so we tried to make it work smoothly, but the beginning of the stream on YouTube, if people go back to look at it, we were missing some audio when I was up here flapping my jaws, but we got all of ML's on there, and that's the important part. But a lot of the sharing I did, and Foster's first words when I got him up here, you may not hear the audio. The stream is shorter than the past ones have been, but if anybody's interested in dealing with employment with the federal government, tell them to go to the YouTube stream. The channel is Stonebriar Events is the channel on YouTube. It'll be the session dated July 5th, which we all know is today, and have them fast forward in about 20 minutes. And they'll get a lot of what was shared with the audio, and they'll be able to fast forward to ML's presentation, which is probably the most important part of today's meeting. So I just wanted to, if you spread the word about, if you're looking for information on how to apply to the government for employment, ML Washington's got your thing. Go to YouTube, go to the Stonebriar Events channel, the July 5th session, but fast forward in a bit to get to ML because there were some technical glitches at the beginning of the meeting.
Yeah, about 20 minutes in, I would say.
Well, no, a little more than that.
A little bit more than that. Do it until it works.
Yeah, until you get the audio.
Until you get the audio. Okay, one more thing I want to tell you guys before we part. My dad used to tell the church, before we part, I'm going to tell y'all something. Okay, here's what I have noticed in my 26 years of doing this that I'm doing right now, running my mouth, flapping my jaws. Okay. Yeah, I better back up. I like to move close where I am. Pre-COVID, we would have over 100 people in this room, and I would walk around the room and talk to each one of you guys. You know, you remember like Meg Rose, don't you? I am a very much tactile person. So, that's the biggest word that I'm going to use today. Okay. Here's the thing. Guys, a number of you guys that get involved with the network will feel this thing in your, what it is your spirit. You will feel it in your spirit that you want to know more about a certain thing. You learn more about that certain thing, and then you'll get this little unction to want to tell people about it. And you know what? Go ahead. Make sure you do that. Meg Rose didn't know what to think when she first showed up at our HR group. And it grew on her. You guys know how certain things grow on you? Well, it grows on you for a reason. Because God works through people, and He wants people to tell people about the good stuff in life. So, if you get this little unction, there's something that you want to share, you've got an open door to do it. This network has got nothing holding you back. Go forth and do it. And now, Meg Rose is a very, very active part of the network. There's a lot of people that are in this network and know about the network and can get help because of MESMES. And we got radio shows, we've got workshops, all kinds of stuff. And you guys will see evidence of that if you connect with Christopher Gressa. Make sure and tell Christopher Foster running the big mouth about you. I think it's a wonderful thing that you do, Chris, if you're watching. Thank you. And that's how it works, guys. God works through us. Okay, I'm going to shut up about that. I'll see you guys, John, what, on the 19th?
The 19th.
Okay. Hopefully I won't have to see you guys on the 19th. But here's the deal. If I don't get to see you on the 19th, you get a job, y'all let me know where you got a job and how it happened. Because I am a preacher's kid and I like telling it. Okay. Thank you.